So if you didn't read the title, or if you look at the thumbnail, you probably already know what this conversation is going to be all about. Yesterday I was talking in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization Discord, and we were just talking about cards from the past that should be reprinted or get support. Now, this is one of the things that really hasn't had support ever since it was released. Now, one of the cards, they have been reprinted, but it hasn't been... It's only been almost 18 years since it was reprinted, and that would be the legendary Athenian the Great Sphinx that Anubis used in the Pyramid of Light movie. Now, this card originally released back in 2004 as a exclusive pack card that premiered with the movie. Now, this was released July 25th, along with many other cards. Now, some of the cards already have a reprint in the pack, like Rare Metal Dragon from Gold Series, it was reprinted in. Petin the Dark Clown was reprinted multiple times. Familiar Knight also was reprinted multiple times, and Return from the Different Dimension, which was also reprinted a few times. But we're going to be talking about the cards that haven't been reprinted from that pack ever since. And the cards are, as listed, Athenian the Great Sphinx, Andro Sphinx, Sphinx, Tilea, and Pyramid of Light, along with a surprising card that only has been printed once in the TCG, Inferno Tempest of all cards. So let's break it down real quick and talk about these cards specifically. Now, these cards were used by a evil called Anubis in the Pyramid of Light movie. These were his main cards that was used in his duel, and these are cards that are unstoppable compared to the gods, because Pyramid of Light is the opposite of the Millennium Puzzle. Now, a few of the things about this deck, it's pretty much just based around these four cards. Now, Sphinx Tilea is, you can pay 500 life points to special summon this card from your hand when Pyramid of Light is on the field. This card cannot attack the turn that is normal or special summoned. This card cannot be destroyed by special summoned monsters from the graveyard. And if this card destroys the defense position monsters as a result of battle, inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to half of the defense as the destroyed monster. So already off to an interesting start with battle phase mechanics, and also being a 2500 attack monster. Yet we have Pyramid of Light is, if this face-up card is removed from the field, destroy Andro and Tilea on your side of the field and remove them from play. So this is the main card that you're going to be going after, and Andro over here is the same exact summoning condition. You can pay 500 life points to special summon this card from your hand if you control Pyramid of Light, and it cannot attack the turn that it is special or normal, and this card cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. So realistically, they can only be summoned from a hand, which is understandable, and they're supposed to work with Return from the Different Dimension. Now, all because of Pyramid of Light banishing them. With Andro Sphinx, it's the exact same thing. If this card destroys a defense position monster as a result of battle, inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to half the attack of the destroyed monster. So Andro Sphinx is the attacker, while Tilea is the defender. Now let's talk about Athenian the Great Sphinx. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by paying 500 life points when both Andro Sphinx and Sphinx Tilea on your side of the field are destroyed at the same time. Then you can special summon this monster from your hand or deck. When this card is special summoned successfully, paid 500 life points to increase this attack of this card by 3,000 points until the end of the turn. So realistically, you're going to have a 6,500 beat stick. And along with that, it's very, very interesting because this card goes hand in hand super well, same as Andro Sphinx, with Inferno Tempest, being able to deal 3,000, or when you take 3,000, you can immediately activate this. But realistically, this works against them more so or not. But realistically, in a scenario, you can have stuff happen where you can take the damage instead. Now, one of the things I do want to point out with these cards, we also have things like Rare Metal Dragon came out of this pack that I said earlier, but this card cannot be normal summoned or set, so it must be special summoned in some form of way. Petin the Dark Clown Everyone knows what this is. If this card is sent to the, or when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and you special summon another copy from your hand or deck. Does not work with link summoning because it's a win effect, because the last thing that happens is the link summon. And let's also talk about the Familiar Knight real quick, because this is another card that was used in this movie. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, each player can special summon one level 4 monster from their hand. So this is supposed to work with Rare Metal Dragon, which in my opinion is a interesting take, but overall I think these cards are definitely cards that should go up for a reprint, or even a way for them to get a retrain. Now, we know what Return from the Different Dimension does, because it's just pay half your life points, special summon as many banished as possible to your field. So pay half your life points, special summon as many of your banished monsters as possible. During the end phase, banish all the monsters that were special summoned by this effect. So realistically, this strategy was more for OTKing your opponent out of an instant. But in my opinion, why has this entire set of cards haven't got a realistic reprint, or even something like an update, because it's been so long? It's probably because one of the things about the deck is it's realistically non-canon, but we've had non-canon things be printed before. And for Pyramid of Light, it was in a movie pack, and it had things like Blue Eyes Shining Dragon before Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon was a card, Sorcerer Dark Magic, and Wadapon. All three of these cards were in here too. But realistically, it was very interesting to say the least. Now, I've always been a fan of the Pyramid of Light and the three cards that it's focused around, because it's just that childhood curiosity is still lingering in the back of my head. Why haven't these cards been reprinted yet, and when will they get future support or retrains? Because they're very retrainable because of how much nostalgia they can hold. Pyramid of Light, sure, it wasn't the best of the movies, but realistically, it is possible that these can get actual support, like what happened with Malefic from Bond Beyond Time. And we could probably see it with Cubic in the future from Dark Side of Dimension. So realistically, I think these cards are the forgotten cards of the game, along with many other cards as well. But I really wanted to highlight these more. But tell me, guys, what you think about this whole entire series of cards from the Pyramid of Light. Do you think it should see the light of day again with the retrains, or should they just be locked up forever? But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did like this discussion video. But anyways, see you guys in the next video.